Queen Charlotte was a graceful lady, loyal to her husband and her family, and she endured. She endured times of hardship and struggle when faced with her husband's mental and physical health. Charlotte faced the challenges with dignity and grace and proved to be a wonderful queen. Charlotte was born Sophia Charlotte of Mecklenburg-strelitz, and she was born on the 19th of May 1744 in northern Germany. She was a minor German princess and had no interest in politics, and as such she was considered a suitable consort by the King of England, George III, and as such they were married in 1761. Was this a love match? Initially, no, it was not, but the king and queen were married for 57 years and were only then separated by Charlotte's death. Together they had 15 children, with 13 growing into adulthood. Now Charlotte's hometown was a small German duchy within the Holy Roman Empire, and she was the daughter of Duke Charles Louis Frederick and Princess Elizabeth Albertine. It is thought that Charlotte received a very mediocre education, and her upbringing was on par with any English girl of high status. Now, at the age of 17, Charlotte was married to the King of England, George III. He felt she would be the perfect wife. She had no interest in politics, or any experience for that matter, and she was told not to meddle, something she was very pleased to follow. Now, initially, Charlotte spoke very little English, but she proved to be a very quick learner, and she picked it up fast. She's also noted by an observer as being the following: she is timid at first, but talks a lot when she is among people she knows. Charlotte then, over the period of her marriage to the king, was by his side through his mental illness where she could, but she was not aware that during his first bout in 1765 that he was firstly unwell, or secondly that she had been named in the Regency Bill of 1765 as regent if George was to become permanently incapacitated and unable to rule. Now, Charlotte, as I have said, had many children with George, and as they aged, George's condition gradually worsened, and as he became permanently insane, Charlotte found her personality to alter. She slept in a separate bed. She had her meals on her own, and she found that his illness was quite worrying, and she even then avoided seeing him by herself. She began to develop a temper, and she no longer appeared in public, nor did she attend any of the musical concerts that she once loved. And as a result, her relationship with her children became very strained. Now, what is interesting is that Queen Charlotte of England was friends with Queen Marie Antoinette of France. There was an 11-year age gap, with Charlotte being the oldest, and they were both very enthusiastic about similar interests. But they never met face to face. Instead, they were what is known as pen pals, and Charlotte was the person that Marie confided in when the French Revolution broke out across France, and in response, Charlotte set up rooms to lodge the French royal family as refugees, but sadly, this never happened, and Charlotte would be distraught when she learned that the King and Queen of France were executed. Now, as time went on, Charlotte found herself to be her husband's legal guardian, and her son became the Prince Regent. She could not bring herself to visit George very often due to his erratic behaviour and his occasional violent reactions, but she remained as supportive as she could be, right up until her death in 1818. Now, it was with the Prince Regent, her eldest son, by her side, that Charlotte eventually passed away while sitting in an armchair in what was once known as Dutch House, now referred to as Kew Palace. Charlotte did not see her husband in the moments leading up to her death. You see, his illness made it impossible for him to know or even comprehend and understand that she had died, and he lived just one more year afterwards without her. But Charlotte, it is believed, died in the later stages of dropsy. She was so very swollen and unable to lie down in her bed, so a comfy armchair was her resting place, and it's thought that Charlotte caught pneumonia, and at the age of 74 died surrounded by her children, and on the armchair is inscribed the following: "The old housekeeper shewed us the room in which she died, her chair tied across with a piece of tape, that no one might rest on it since she left it." Charlotte was then moved downstairs to the dining room, where she then lay in state before being laid to rest for the rest of eternity within Windsor. Her body, whilst laying in state, was under a canopy and lit by 6 candles in large silver candlesticks. A sad fact that, on her procession from Kew to Windsor, the cobbled streets had been lined with straw to muffle the noise so that the king could not hear the funeral procession for his beloved wife. Thank you for watching, and to support, please subscribe to Her Remarkable History. Thank you.